Let's talk about merging and wrapping cells in Excel. This is something that we can do to better format our worksheets and make them easier to read and print out. Now here I have my patient tracking call registry that we already saw. Watch what happens if I set up a few borders here. Let's say that I wanted to put borders on the outside of this table, like so. And I'm just going to add a few lines here. Okay, right now my table looks like this. But look at these cells here. These cells contain a sentence which is a little bit larger than the cell. Now normally when something is a bit larger than the cell and falls outside of the cell range and you have no data in this other cell, Excel simply displays all the text that it can horizontally on the row. Now if I add data here, for example if I write 23, the text disappears. The text is still here, only Excel doesn't display it because it needs to display this other cell. But we've got something like this. And watch what happens if I go to the print preview. If I go to the print preview, as you can see, here's the margin line, and my text is falling outside the margin line. This is not going to look really good if I print out my worksheet. So what can I do in this case? Well, something that I can do is something called wrapping. When you wrap a cell and the text gets to the end of the cell, Excel simply inserts a new line here and makes the cell go into another line. And that looks a lot better many times. How do you wrap a cell? Well, in order to wrap a cell, you simply select it, go to the Home menu, to the Alignment section right here, and you press Wrap Text, like that. See, now the text occupies several lines, but on the same row. We still have one row, which is row 25, but several lines here. Another way you can do this is to go into the alignment dropdown. And right here, in alignment, you select this thing which says Wrap Text. See? And now your text wraps. If you want to, you can also do several cells at the same time. Simply select them and press Wrap. And there you are. Now, as you can see, when you wrap text, normally by default, the rest of the line becomes aligned to the bottom, and that can look kind of weird. So what we do is what we saw a couple of chapters ago. We align this text to the center of the row, which is done right here, alignment, and press this little button here. Not the bottom one. This one aligns center, but horizontally. You want to align the center vertically, which is this button right here. So you press it, and now it looks a whole lot better. If you want to unwrap your text, simply select the cells again and press Wrap Text. Or if you want to, you can go right here to the alignment dropdown and unselect this thing which says Wrap Text. And that's how you wrap text in Excel. Now another case in which this might be useful is this one. Let's say we have our sales figures for our stores. And each store, it says it's on 102nd Avenue, 103rd Avenue, and so on. Except that it doesn't display in the column title, because as we saw before, Excel is trying to display text which is longer than the cell, but there's data in this cell next to it, so it displays that data and not this one. But let's say we want the full store name in these column titles. What do we do then? Well, one thing we can do is we can adjust the column width until we get to the right width, only that's not going to look so good. See, we can adjust the column width so that the title occupies enough space there, but it's going to look pretty bad. That's going to take up a lot of space on our printout if we eventually print this out. So that's not going to work. But one thing we can do is wrap the text in these column titles so that it displays completely. I'm going to select all the columns and I'm going to press Wrap Text. Like that. See, now it says Avenue because of course the text doesn't fit into the entire row height. You see, this row doesn't have enough height to accommodate all this text. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this down. like that. And now my full title displays. If you want, you can also center this. Might make it look a little better, like that. And maybe you could add a little width here to the columns, just a little bit, to give this title some breathing room, like that. So that's how you wrap text, and that's what wrapping text is used for. Let's talk about merging cells. What merging cells does is it takes several of these little cells and makes one giant cell from them. So if I take this title, let's say I wanted to center it across all these columns titles. Now I could just take this and drag it like that and try to center it approximately. But later, if I add more columns or if I delete a column here, this thing's going to disalign. So it's much easier to merge the cells and create one giant cell up here across the top and then center this title on it. How do you do that? Well, you take it, you mark all the cells that you want to turn into a huge cell, like that. See, here we're going to merge all these cells. You go up here to alignment and you click this button which says merge and center. See, and now I have one large cell up here. See, before I had all of these, and now I have only one. And my cursor is going to behave like there's only one cell there. When I reach that row, the cursor is simply going to become much larger. And if I apply, for example, a red text color, it's going to apply to this entire range. So that's how you use merge cell. Now you can also merge cells vertically. It doesn't have to be necessarily in a horizontal fashion. Let's say I have another column here, and I want to add a title here which says region code. Well, what I'm going to do is use a merge cell to do that. I'm going to type region code here. I'm going to give it this same format. And what I'm going to do is merge these cells vertically so that the title occupies one cell in this entire range. I'm going to mark my cells. I'm going to hit merge and center. Here's the title. It's aligned to the bottom of the cell, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to center it on the row, like here. Remember, use the top button to center vertically and not horizontally. And now my title is centered on the cell. Now I can't read it because, of course, this title is horizontal and I want it to be vertical. But that's real easy to do in Excel. Now that I've got my cell merged, I'm going to take this little selector here in alignment. See, it says A, B, and has a little arrow. I'm going to open the drop down and select rotate text up. Normally you use this one, vertical text. See, vertical text isn't really that easy to read, although in some cases, some people prefer it like this, but I like it simply rotated. So I select rotate text up, and now I have my row title right here, and that looks a lot better. So that's how you use a wrap text function and the merge cells function. Now if you want to unmerge the cells, like I said, just select your cell and press this button again and it's going to unmerge. And the same thing with this one, unmerge. You might need to wrap this one and realign the text so that it has the right orientation, like that. And unwrapping text works exactly the same. You select the cells that are wrapped and you click here, and now your text doesn't wrap anymore. Thanks for watching this video tutorial. If you liked the video, be sure to subscribe to our channel and to visit our website, cubicleoverlords.com, for more instructional videos like this one.